Sledgehammer Games released another community update today, and of course has all the normal update stuffs, but continuing what they started last week, they are also now starting to keep some zombie storyline stuff in here. I'm not too sure if they're going to continue doing this forever on. I'm not sure if they will, but we'll have to see. But regardless if you guys like it or not, they're still releasing some of the storyline inside of there. And I know this is only the second week, but normally, at least last week, they just had some normal information that they would release, just talking about Drostan's past, and it was interesting, I'll give it that, but it wasn't anything I could or wanted to make a video on, and it just really didn't catch my eye. But unlike this week, this is the first time in a while that the storyline has caught my eye. After seeing these scraps of paper from Drostan, it really caught my interest, and I wanted to talk about it and share it with you guys. And of course, like I said, it's from some scraps of paper that I'll read off for you guys, but keep in mind this is by Drostan and he cusses his face off, and since I'm a flippin' saint, you wouldn't catch me dead cussing, so yeah. Also, YouTube doesn't like people cussing, and you know, it works out either way, so it doesn't matter. But again, I'm just going to be taking out parts like that if you guys are curious on why that is. But anyways, what it says is, bleeping time, I've had a bloody day off. So now I'm parked up here on a circus balloon after chasing that crazy French gal off the cliff. Found a little nook where I can go and analyze some of the good doctor's notes. Looks like Stroud was trying to translate the speech of our rotten friends, but he's a much better physician than a wordsmith. I consider myself something of a cunning linguist, so I'll take a stab at this. No time like the bloody frostbitten high altitude present. And then the next page says, nice to have a moment to sit and think without some undead jobbies trying to eat my face off. Trying to piece some of these words together. Looks like a corrupted bastard child of the German tongue. And then after that you see a drawing of, I presume, Dr. Stroud, which is actually great. It even says 9 next to him. That's pretty funny. But anyways, it also has these letters written here, the T-U-B-L-U and U-L-B-U-T. Then we have scribbled out one saying it's too many. Then you have another scribbled out one. Then you have B-U-U-L-T. Then it ends on U-B-L-T-U. And I'm not too sure if that's the last part or what's exactly going on. And of course it has him, of course, complaining again about how cold it is, and then just saying how his fingers are frozen pretty much. But it's still really interesting that they're actually releasing this here. But what catches my eye more than anything, even though it is interesting that we do see Drostan trying to go and translate the zombies' language, which is interesting, but what really caught my eye about this entire thing is that we see that something's actually happening between the maps, because as you guys can tell, that he said that they're up there on this circus balloon, which we are pretty sure he's talking about the blimp. That means that this is actually happening when they're on the blimp and they're just in there, and he's been trying to decipher or translate this zombie's language, and of course that's what he was doing here. But it's really interesting to see all this happening here, especially with the two things I just mentioned, that Drostan's trying to translate the language, and of course they are actually doing something between the map, and there's actually writing about what's going on. But what was even more interesting is this tweet by Cameron Dayton, and I'll put it on screen right now. And yeah, as you guys can see, it's those two exact same notes pages I just read off for you guys, and that's not what's as interesting. What's interesting is what he said. It says the latest documents recovered by the Zeppelin wreckage, April 1945. So apparently the Zeppelin they were on crashed. Now how that happened, I am not entirely sure. So I just don't know what to think about this one, honestly. Like, it crashed. Wait, what? Did it crash because of our characters, or did they shoot it down, or what exactly went on? And who's these people who are recovering it and all that stuff? That's probably not important. But you also see the date April 1945, which we assume that that's right after, or right when this is all happening, because inside the Darkest Shore we believe it to be happening kind of early April or maybe later March, somewhere around there. We're not exactly sure, but we do think it's around that area, so it does fit with the timeline that we believe to be a part of inside of this. But what's interesting is that they don't give an exact date during April, so we don't know exactly when this is all happening. And I imagine what's exactly going on here is that we already did the events of DLC 2, the Zeppelin crashed, or whatever exactly happened. but now the people are just going by the wreckage of what just happened. But it's also interesting to see that Drostan actually lost his notes, so that's also strange. I wonder if they're going to have him drop him. That would be really cool. Like maybe during an intro or an outro cutscene, you see his book fly apart and just get torn apart, and you know, this is how they found these scraps of papers. I find that very interesting, but that's about it I could say about all of this. It's still really interesting, and again, like I said, it really caught my eye with this whole situation of them explaining that there's stuff's happening here. The Zeppelin crashed, like what is going on there? And it's just really interesting, and maybe and hopefully they'll expand on this more in the future on every single one of these. I imagine they're going to have to talk about the Zeppelin crash, but you know, there's still the zombie language that I pray is going to be something big in the future. And of course, we still have, you know, just Drostan's being the one to try and figure this stuff out. It's all quite interesting, and I can't say too much about it, but I do think it's going in the right direction right now. But again, we'll have to see in the future. But that's about it for me. Tell me what you guys think about this whole thing. You guys liking what they're doing here? You guys think it's not enough, too much? I don't know who would think it's too much, but you know, you can think what you want. Who am I to say? I am flippin' tell them, and you flippin' listen to me. That's who I am. Forget you. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys. Oh wait, no, don't forget to like, subscribe, bell, share, and watch video multiple times over. I forgot to say that, but now I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.